Hi there, you Solstice owners. I'm about to take my water pump out and my thermostat from my Solstice 2006 2.4 liter, and here it is at the back. So I'm just going to show you some of the steps. This is my first time and I'm not quite sure how to hold the camera and do the work myself. So here it goes, and I hope it'll help you fix your Solstice. So let's get working. So there you go. That's the Solstice. I've had it since 2006, and it's been a beautiful car. It's got about 100,000 kilometers, and the fluid on it was well, I've taken the fluid out now, but the fluid on it was slowly dropping, and once in a while I had a little drop underneath the car, but nothing major. But at the same time, I was sort of overheating a bit, and up to about 96, 98 Celsius, and then the fan would come on, and then it would bring it down. So I suspect that it's still the original thermostat, that the thermostat wasn't working properly also. It wasn't opening up in time. And over time also, because it was at the high end of the heating in the engine, it probably leaked out through the pump also, and the pump needs to be replaced, so I have that too. So I tested the thermostat as I took it out, and I'll show you where it is. And yeah, it was opening up at around 98 to 100 Celsius when I put it in the water. You just put it in the water, boil it, and take the temperature and notice when it opens. So obviously it's supposed to open up, I think, at in Fahrenheit it would be like 180, and it was opening up over 200. So obviously it wasn't opening up soon enough to cool the engine. So here, and this is basically what I've done. I've taken out the wipers already, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. I think they're all 10 millimeters, and I've taken them out already. And as you can see, that's sort of the skirt by the window. You need to take that out in order to get to your thermostat. So I took out the wipers, and then I took out the apron around the firewall, and I'll show you where the thermostat is. Thermostat is way down here. I can't get my hand up to it. Like I said, this is my first time, so yeah, you can't see it that well. There it is. You can see, yeah, I got these leaves all over the place because I got a crazy tree on my yard. It belongs to the city, and in the fall I get all these leaves, stupid leaves. So there's only 2 bolts to it, and I believe it was only 10 millimeters each. Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, you can see it there, right? So there was 2 millimeters, and what I did was, let me come around. Here, I'll stop that. Okay, so what I did was I came around the driver's side, and because I removed the apron here, you can see the back of the engine, and this is the hose here that goes to the thermostat. There's only 2 bolts, and I believe there were 10 millimeters. I can't remember now, 10 or 12, and I've taken it out, and there it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, there, that's where the thermostat goes. So right now I'm not going to put back to the thermostat because I still got to take out the water pump. Okay, so to take out the water pump, it's not a regular water pump. It takes quite the maneuver to get it out of here. The water pump is here. This is the water pump, and it's behind the crank shaft and the chain. So your water pump is basically connected to your timing chain up at the front, and there's a plate up at the front that I'm going to have to get to. Where's my hand over here? I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is. Yep. So that plate there, I need to remove that plate, and then take out the bolts from the back here. I'm sure you can see the water pump back there. And then there's a steel pipe you can see between the intake manifold. It goes all the way to the pump, and it keeps going all the way across to your thermostat housing there, which is part of it also. So I got to take out this block here to remove the pipe. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'll show you later what it looks like, okay? So here's the faceplate that I just popped out with a screwdriver on the edge of it. I just slowly pushed it out, and there was no problem. So it looks pretty good. So let me show you the front of the pump. And here it is with those gears. So there's a special tool that I'm going to have to place here, and I'll have to take the bolts out of that pump in order to move it from the back, to remove it from the back. I'll show you what the tool looks like. Just hang on. So this is the new water pump that I bought. Let me turn this down. This is the new water pump that I bought from Rock Auto. And I guess probably Amazon will probably have it too. I mean, they have a lot of parts now. So what is happening, and I've already taken it out, is there's a wheel that comes with a pump. You can buy it with it or without it, and that's what basically it would look like. And then the timing chain will go around here into the crankshaft and the upper part of the motor and all that, so the camshafts. So what I've done, I've taken this out already, but what's going to happen is this has to stay on the engine from the old motor, unless of course, you know, it's damaged or whatever, but mine is fine. So I don't need to replace this. All I need to do is replace the pump. And this is the pump. So from what I see here with the new pump, I believe it would go in this way. And it has a chamber here where if there's a leak on the pump, it'll come out, and it'll come out on the side where you're looking at the pump, as opposed to being on the other side up against the block, and you won't be able to see it. So the old pump that I have right now, the opening is on the other side, and I can't see if the pump is leaking or not. But given that I'm doing all this, and I know that I'm losing fluids, and it's not through the head gasket or anything like that. My oil is clear. There's no water in it or anything like that. So, and it's slowly, and I've noticed a little drip underneath my car. So I'm pretty sure that it's also my my water pump. And given that the engine was running hot, it probably pressured the pump more to work efficiently. So anyways, so there it is. This here is the drain plug for the pump. It'll go in that way, and that part here will be, this part here, sorry, will be facing the front of the motor, and this back here will be going on the pipe to the thermostat housing, and there's seals and all that, so you'll need to buy extra seals to make sure that it's not going to leak if you're going to replace, you're going to do that much work, don't put the old seals, get new seals. So the tool that I need to do to apply, so for example, if this was the sprocket on the old pump, what I need to do is I need to put this here, screw it to the gears, and then here I would use the 4 bolts that I have on the cover that I took out, and this would be attached to the frame or to the block of the engine, so that's not going to move. So once I tighten the screws to the sprocket of the old motor or the old pump, then I'll be able to take out the bolts that are there. And once I take out the bolts, then I can remove it from the back, and this will always stay in position where it's supposed to be. If it moves and the timing chain moves at all, then you have problems with the timing. You're going to have to take out the cover. It'll be a lot of problems. So you got to make sure you do this right, or else you're in big trouble. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, so to bring you up to date, it's hard for me to do this and hold the phone at the same time or hold the camera. So I've put the special plate to hold the gear on the water pump, and it was pretty easy, and I would recommend getting the one that I have, because some of them are open, like they're half moon, they're open, and you could lose the bolts in between and drop them into the crankcase. You don't want that to happen. So here, I'll just show you what I've done. Let's see here. Hopefully, I'm not sure if that's on video or not, but there it is. So now what I have to do is I got to take the bolts out of the water pump. But I'm not going to take the bolts out of the water pump yet until I get everything off. Then I'll take the bolts, and then I'll push it back. So I believe there's 2 or 3 bolts here that I have to remove, and I also have to remove the back housing for the thermostat here, so that the pipe can push out of the water pump. Okay. So I've removed the housing for the pipe for the water pump. It goes all the way down there, and there's the pipe. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's off the housing. So the left top bolt that's near the firewall, it took a little while to get it out, but with patience you can do it. And so there's the 3 bolts that are holding the housing. The bottom one was the longest one, and the top 2 are about half the length of the other one. But it's fairly easy. So that's what the plate looks like when you remove the pump. You can see it. Yeah, there you go. I had to knock it a little bit with a hammer on the pump just to break the seal, but it looks good. So I'm going to clean that area around there and put the new pump on. I'll show you the old pump. So this is the old pump, and it looks like there was sort of like a meltdown around here from the seal, right? I think you can see it, right? So it's pretty worn. And the pump seems to be okay, but the seal is gone, and I already bought a new pump, and I'm not going to take out the pump just to put the seal in, might as well. Okay, so for owners, so I've got the water pump and the thermostat all together, and I'll show you in a minute